Joined alongside by the Vice President of Community Relations from the UFC and former WEC Kingpin, that being Reed Harris. Still WEC Kingpin, yes, absolutely. It's great seeing you, Reed. What a weekend here in Toronto. Tell us about your excitement and how you're feeling as we prepare on the biggest event attendance-wise in North American mixed martial arts history tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto, first of all, is a beautiful city. It's my first time here. The people are great. We've been dealing with the fans all day. I mean, we had a huge turnout at the Expo. I actually expect an even bigger turnout tomorrow when the 55,000 start descending on the city. I'll tell you, when I started doing this 10 years ago at WEC in Lemoore, California, out in the field with a cage and some lights, never thought it would get to this. I mean, I thought it would, but I really thought it'd be 20, 30 years before we got to where we are now.
Reed, as you look at the card tomorrow night, there are a lot of guys that were in the WEC first. Guys like Yves Jabouin, Ivan Menjivar, Charlie Valencia, the list goes on and on. How does that make you feel knowing that your former WEC guys are now having the opportunity to shine and flourish under the UFC banner, especially tomorrow night before 55,000, UFC 129?
Well, it makes me feel great. I mean, it humbles me. I mean, the whole idea, you know, when I started WEC, really, it was about the fighters. You know, we were in there training with them, and we'd work out with them, and so we really felt close to these guys. And at the end of the day, it really was about them trying to better their lives and do better. And you know, to see these guys on this stage, Jose Aldo and Mark Hominick, it makes me feel proud. It's like having your kids, you know, graduate from college or whatever. You know, you're watching them, and you're seeing how well they're doing. And regardless of who wins the fight, both of those guys have earned it. You know, both of them represent the sport and are really the epitome of a professional mixed martial artist, you know.
What's unbelievable, Reed, is that the WEC was really ahead of its time, bringing guys in like Jose Aldo, like a Miguel Torres, like a Uriah Faber, making those household names, and now they become even bigger household names.
Right. I mean, listen, you know, it really has to go back to Dana, and I'll tell you why, is that Dana White came to me about 3 years ago, and he said, look, I want to kind of start to weed out the heavyweight guys in the WEC and focus on the lightweights. You need to get out from underneath our shadow, and I fought it. I go, no, you know, I had Carlos Condit, you know, I had some guys like, you know, Chael Sonnen fighting for me, and I really liked those guys. And, you know, you become close with the fighters. I didn't want to lose them, but it was a brilliant move. He knew what he was doing. You know, we did become the home of the best lightweight fighters in the world, and now these guys are, and I always knew they could. One of the things we looked at when we did the merger was, can our lightweights compete with their lightweights? We didn't want to bring these guys in and you know what? I knew it was going to happen. Now everybody else knows what's going to happen.
How excited are you as we look about lightweights between Anthony Pettis and Clay Guida? That is coming up in the month of June. How excited are you for that one? And Reed, I know you're not supposed to say, but with these WEC guys, when they fight UFC guys, do you kind of pull for the WEC guys a little bit? Is that kind of hometown flavor? Yeah,
I mean, I do, but also remember, Clay Guida has been a friend of mine for years, and I have nothing but absolute respect for Clay Guida. I mean, some of his fights, I mean, that fight where he took that kick, went down and jumped back up. I'm like, how did that happen, you know?
Very true.
So there's a guy that's got more heart than probably any fighter out there. But listen, Anthony's going to give him a good fight. I know that. And you know, I got Donald Cerrone, I got Ben Henderson fighting tomorrow night. I believe all these guys are going to do well, and they all kind of seem like they're even more focused. I mean, I talked to Cerrone today. He goes, Reed, I've trained harder than I've ever trained in my life for this fight. I really think I'm going to do well. And I told him, look, you've made me proud. I know you'll make me proud again, you know.
And finally, Reed, where do you see the UFC in the next year? I mean, 55,000 fans here at Toronto at the Rogers Center. Going to be an electric atmosphere. In the next year, let's say April 30th of 2012, what are we going to be talking about with the UFC?
Listen, I think we're going to be all over the place. I mean, we're working on going to China. I know they're looking at doing a show in Sweden. You know, obviously Brazil is a huge event for us in August. I believe that this thing is just going to continue to grow. Maybe April next year it'll be like GSP versus Anderson Silva. Who knows?
In Dallas? In Dallas, possibly here. Cowboys Stadium?
Listen, I'd love to do it at Dallas, but I think it'd be great to do it here too. I mean, we're putting 55,000 people in this place. And
you could possibly put 70 to 75,000, Reed. I think that's very conceivable.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you what, to do a show with that many people in the States would be unbelievable. You know, and in fact, it's hard for me to even kind of envision it. You know what I mean? Who would have even a couple years ago thought we could get there?
No doubt about it, Reed. Thank you so much.